As insurance claims become increasingly severe and more complex, insurers are looking to limit costs as much as possible. But a number of factors are making that difficult. I'm John Weber for AM Best TV. Here to talk about a new AM Best report on insurers' defense and cost containment expenses is David Blades, Associate Director, and Christopher Graham, Senior Industry Analyst, both of Industry Research and Analytics. And Chris, we're going to start with you. When you reference defense and cost containment expenses, or DCC, are you talking about what it costs an insurer to settle a claim?
Hi, John. Thank you for having me this morning. With defense and cost containment expenses, we're talking about any legal expenses involved in defending the claim. This could be the lawyers themselves, expert testimony when needed. Or we're also talking about things like utilization review for medical expenses and even fraud investigations.
Now, are there particular lines of businesses where you're seeing insurers facing a heavier burden?
Lately, we've seen a lot more in directors and officers' expenses and cyber coverages. They seem to be the two getting hit the hardest, not just in relation to the premium, but also in respect to the actual losses paid. We're seeing an increase in defense and cost containment expenses.
David, do you expect an even greater escalation of costs with courts reopening after the COVID surge in 2020?
I'll say that I would expect some escalation of costs. However, because of the mitigating factors, the increase may not be as substantial as you might think. With DCC expenses, in addition to legal fees, being they are comprised of like court costs and trial preparation and other types of costs that are involved in personal interaction. So court closures definitely impacted that activity in 2020, and especially during the early months of the pandemic. When you think about it, though, attorneys during 2020, they were very resourceful, and they were likely able to sort of repurpose some of the things that they were doing, some of the activities that they were involved in. So from that standpoint, they probably mitigated to some extent the lowering of costs that were involved that we saw during 2020 from a DCC standpoint. So overall, I definitely would expect in 2021 we'll see costs escalate, but I definitely think that overall from an expense perspective, the costs that were involved last year probably were down a little bit, but I think there were mitigating factors that would probably limit a large differential between 2020 and 2021.
What can insurers do to mitigate this trend?
Well, I think the key thing, and this is probably the case with all claims, you have to enhance loss control initiatives will probably be key for better preparing policyholders and help increase their awareness for steps that they need to take to limit the claim occurrences from happening. So again, that's a proactive approach that insurers could take. Just being proactive in general in handling claims, so contacting policyholders promptly, getting right into all different kinds of the claim details and the claims assessment, getting those investigations and those conversations started quickly. I think that would help insurers limit and control their costs better. Also having the protocols in place that and making sure that they're understood by counsel, especially for companies that are using outside counsel. I think that would help promote the most efficient defense counsel activities and limit defense costs in that respect. And also, I think insurers need to track their claim costs, see where claim costs, what kinds of claim costs are trending in the wrong direction, and then they can put steps in place to help mitigate or control those costs.
Thanks, David. Chris?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That was David Blades, Associate Director, and Christopher Graham, Senior Industry Analyst, both of Industry Research and Analytics. You can find the full report online at ambest.com. For AM Best TV, I'm John Weber.